Have you ever had one of those moments where you're working in your business system and like a really straightforward task suddenly turns into just a huge time sink?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about like when you need to update a ton of records and you think, oh, I can just do a quick import. And then suddenly it's like, oh no, this is going to be a huge headache.
Yeah, you think it's going to be super efficient, and then it's like, wait a minute.
And this is exactly the kind of situation that Swetha, who's a senior functional consultant at Tiana Solutions, recently helped a client with.
Oh, wow.
So picture this. You have a client and they need to update the vendor class for like 20,000 existing vendors in their ERP.
20,000.
Yeah, like 20,000.
Wow. So obviously, like, that's a task where you need to be efficient.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to think about like automation, right?
Yeah, like first thing you think of is, okay, I'll use the import function now.
Right. It's built for this kind of bulk operation, right?
Yeah, exactly. You build out your import scenario, you map all the fields, and you just expect it to run smoothly. Yeah, makes sense.
But here's where it gets interesting. They ran into this snag that really just shows you how these systems can be tricky sometimes.
What happened?
So every time they tried to change the vendor class, even manually just to test it out, the system would pop up this confirmation.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it would say, are you sure you want to change the vendor class? And it would require a manual yes or no click for every single vendor.
Oh my gosh, for every single vendor.
Yeah, and you can already see the problem with the database of 20,000 vendors.
Yeah, that's not efficient at all.
Clicking yes 20,000 times completely defeats the whole point of using a bulk import.
Right. It just makes automation impossible.
Right. And it's funny because it really just shows you how something so small can completely throw a wrench in the works.
It really highlights the importance of understanding those deeper capabilities of the system.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what Swetha and the team at Tiana Solutions were able to figure out.
So what do they do?
So it turns out the solution was actually within the import scenario setup itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's actually a way to tell the system how to handle those dialog prompts.
Interesting. So they were able to automate the confirmation.
Exactly. So in the vendor summary section of the import scenario mapping, there's this option called dialog answer.
Okay.
And all they had to do was set the value for that to yes.
I see.
So by doing that, they essentially automated the yes click for every single vendor record during the import.
Wow, that's really clever.
Yeah, it's a really good example of how just knowing the ins and outs of the system can make a huge difference.
And it also shows how sometimes what seems like a limitation can be overcome with the right approach.
Right, and the best part is it worked. Tiana Solutions was able to update the vendor class for all 20,000 vendors using this import scenario.
That's amazing. It must have saved them so much time.
Yeah, a ton of time. And this really highlights why it's so valuable to have experienced functional consultants who really know how to navigate ERP systems.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Tiana Solutions being a leading partner with Acumatica Cloud ERP, they have a whole team with this kind of expertise.
And Swetha, for example, she has 15 years of experience working with ERP, and she's tackled so many unique scenarios.
15 years. That's incredible.
I know, it's really impressive. And she's dealt with reporting, inquiries, automation, data management across all versions of Acumatica.
Wow. So if someone's out there struggling with their ERP system, it sounds like Tiana Solutions could really help.
Absolutely. So if you're dealing with a process that just feels slow and clunky, or you have an update that should be simple, but it's turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, or you're banging your head against the wall trying to figure something out.
Yeah, exactly. And reach out to Tiana Solutions. You can give them a call at 678-910-2774. Thanks for listening.